This is Valley News Live at 5.
Good afternoon, everyone. A loaded handgun was brought to Lincoln Elementary School in Fargo this morning. An email sent to parents this afternoon says the students shared that information with their class. The principal says the teacher found it and immediately confiscated and secured the weapon. The school was put into a brief lockdown. The gun was turned over to police and the student suspended. Police tell us this was an incident not connected to a school shooting threat called into our whistleblower hotline last week. The latest COVID-19 variant is raising concerns across the globe, with the World Health Organization labeling it as a variant of concern because of its rapid spread in South Africa. But one Fargo doctor is urging those here in the Valley not to panic, telling Valley News Team's Bailey Hurley there are still a lot of scientists who are figuring things out.
There has yet to be a confirmed case of the Omicron strain of the coronavirus in the U.S., but Stanford's Dr. Avish Nagpal says it's likely already here and just hasn't been detected yet.
This is not the first variant. This will certainly not be the last one.
Adding new variants of COVID are something we'll likely have to live with forever. At this point, Nagpal says it's too soon to tell if the current COVID vaccines won't protect against the new strain, as it takes about 3 to 4 weeks to gather and review data.
I think we just need to give it some time for our scientists to conduct some tests in the lab and look at the epidemiological trends, and I think we are going to be okay.
Officials' main concern with the new variant is it could be more contagious than the Delta strain. The bright side, so far, Nagpal says those infected with Omicron have had mild cases.
We are all a little on the edge given our experience of the last 2 years, so we may be overreacting a little bit right now. It's always good to be cautious, but we have to be careful not to panic.
Nagpal says with the vaccine and many therapies, as well as the several antiviral medications coming up the pipeline, there's no need to cancel any upcoming holiday plans or drastically change the way you're living, saying regardless of which strain we're dealing with, the prevention and treatment options are relatively the same. Bailey Hurley, Valley News Live.
The new variant has been found in a dozen countries, including Canada. A growing number of nations, including the United States, are restricting travel from South Africa and neighboring countries.
We understand the point of the travel of the restriction, to give us time to get people to.
President Biden says that in the unlikely event updated vaccines or boosters are needed for Omicron, the U.S. will work with vaccine makers to accelerate development and deployment. On Thursday, the White House is set to release details on a new strategy toward fighting COVID this winter. We're almost done with November, and temps continue to hold their own. During any other time, I'd be glad that we weren't getting any snow, but I do wonder a little bit about another bout with drought conditions next spring. Well, let's find out what we can expect tonight anyway. Nathan?
Yeah, thanks, Mike. Happy Monday to you. Happy Monday, everybody. You saw a beautiful look there at our Grand Forks Home of Economy Skycam, showing things very quiet for us. And look at how warm we got today under those sunny conditions. 44 that high in Fargo, 46 that high in Valley City, but Jamestown, Gwinner, Sisseton all saw above 50 degrees for those high temperatures. Even our northern neighborhoods warmed to above freezing for this afternoon there, and do expect, of course, quiet conditions to be the rule of order for us tonight, but we do have a big weekend ahead with a parade that we've been keeping our eyes on. And so I want to give you an early look ahead to next weekend, because for those folks who are making plans on bundling up and heading out to the parade, expect temperatures to be in the 20s during parade time. And there's the chance of some snow showers mainly late on Saturday, which I think will be after the parade wraps up on Saturday. But some of those snow showers could linger into Sunday morning as well. High temperatures on Sunday looking to be in those middle 20s. But before the weekend, we've got some more mild weather ahead and quiet weather ahead as well. We've got clear skies, quiet conditions, a few clouds moving into our western neighborhoods, a few spotty rain showers north of Minot. Not expecting those to impact us here in the valley for this evening. In fact, I'm expecting fairly stable temperatures for us in Fargo with quiet conditions continuing, Mike, through the overnight, staying up near the freezing mark for us in the metro there through this evening. A little bit cooler up into Grand Forks, but I'm checking the chance of some light showers for our Tuesday, Mike, but I'll break all that down in details here in a few minutes.
All right, thanks so much, Nathan. New at 5, a former University of North Dakota student is accused of stealing more than $330,000 in federal COVID relief money. Enroy Duncan allegedly devised a scheme to defraud the government by filing a false application for Paycheck Protection Program funds. Authorities show he falsely stated that his company had 17 employees and paid more than $1.6 million in wages, tips, and compensation. But the indictment says Duncan's Grand Forks apartment was listed as the company's address and no official records of the business could be found. Duncan is charged with wire fraud. Right now, Fargo City Commissioners are revisiting the current face mask mandate for its employees. The temporary COVID-19 policy requiring employees to wear a mask in all city buildings is set to expire on Wednesday. Meanwhile, an ordinance to adopt the City of Fargo's first ever police advisory and oversight board is up for a final vote tonight. The board will make up of 7 members who will be tasked with a number of duties, including reviewing use of force investigations. We're streaming the meeting on our website. You can watch it by going to valleynewslive.com. A city engineer says the Broadway Bridge in North Fargo needs to come down because it's shifting and is not reliable anymore. The bridge was closed in February, and since then, traffic has been rerouted to 10th Street. Homes along Royal Oaks Drive in that area may need to be removed to make room for a new bridge. That's something that City Commissioner Dave Pepcorn is against. If the bridge is demolished, a replacement will not be in place for another 3 to 5 years. Rolling up sleeves for safety in the workplace. That's the stated mission of the Biden administration with its new Labor Department vaccine and testing guidelines. According to Washington News Bureau reporter Peter Zampa, public health professionals see mandates as an important weapon in this nearly 2-year fight.
I would think that most people will gradually accept it.
Vaccinate our way out of the pandemic. Public health officials like Dr. Jinhua Yu from the University of Memphis have been calling for this for months. But with a large enough percentage of Americans still resistant to the COVID vaccine, President Joe Biden's Occupational Safety and Health Administration, OSHA, is saying companies with 100 employees must get a shot or submit to weekly testing.
We are at the last mile of a really long run. And I hope the mandate will push this last mile a bit further.
The federal rule is causing an uproar. It's blocked in court for the time being, despite vaccine numbers remaining low in some areas, like in Tennessee, where less than half the people are fully vaccinated.
It's a surprise to me that there are so many people, a high percent of people refuse to accept this public health strategy.
Well, some business leaders and elected officials are saying they're thrilled this guidance is blocked in the courts. Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn says this is not an anti-vax movement. She says it's an issue of choice.
Individuals are going to know best how to protect themselves.
Blackburn argues there are some individuals who are not a candidate for the vaccine for health reasons. She says the federal government stepping in with guidance is the wrong approach.
It's better leaving individuals free to exercise their freedom, their independence, and to make a choice.
The federal guidance is slated to go into effect in early January. Its fate in the court system is currently unclear. In Washington, I'm Peter Zampa.
Meanwhile, the Biden administration is allowing some federal agencies to delay firing unvaccinated employees. The Office of Management and Budget says some agencies can wait until after the holidays to terminate workers who have not followed the COVID-19 vaccine mandate. The federal vaccine mandate requires all federal workers to have received at least 1 vaccine dose by November 22nd. The president will be in Minnesota tomorrow. He's scheduled to stop in the Twin Cities to discuss the federal infrastructure package. According to the White House, the president is slated to be in Rosemount, where he will visit Dakota County Technical College to discuss how the infrastructure package will help Minnesotans and create good-paying jobs. Air Force One is scheduled to land at Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport shortly before 1:30 p.m. The president will speak at 3:30. Jury selection starts tomorrow in the case of a former Brooklyn Center police officer charged with killing Dante Wright during a traffic stop. Her reaction that was caught on body camera video seems to establish the key facts in this case. As she said, she grabbed the wrong gun and would be going to prison. But legal experts say a conviction isn't as certain as it may seem, at least the most serious charge she faces, which is manslaughter. Her defense attorney says that she made an innocent mistake. The attorney for the Wright family called the trial, quote, an extraordinary step toward justice because so many families have not gotten a legitimate investigation, let alone a prosecution for their loved ones.
And I think what's really hard for anyone in the public to grasp is just the deep level of grieving and trauma continues to pour upon these families when they know there wasn't at least a legitimate investigation and legitimate attempts towards justice for their loved one.
Potter resigned 2 days after the shooting. The Brooklyn Center City Council will vote tonight on an ordinance that would set a curfew on the day the verdict is read. The trial of actor Justice Smollett is underway now in Chicago. This after 2 years after the alleged incident that sparked it. The 39-year-old is accused of lying to the police after being the victim of a hate crime. In January of 2019, Smollett reported that he was attacked by two men who yelled anti-gay and racist remarks, put a noose around his neck, and poured bleach on him. Authorities later accused the actor of paying two acquaintances to stage the attack to boost his career. Smollett denied the allegation and has pleaded not guilty to 6 counts of disorderly conduct. If he's found guilty, he faces up to 3 years in prison and a $25,000 fine for each charge. Later on Valley News Live at 5, we're going to tell you what was named the word of the year.
And look at this sunset, absolutely beautiful on our Dakota Magic home of our Dakota Magic Casino Skycam in Hankinson. Fantastic colors there. Before tomorrow, here's what I'm watching for you. The chance of some Tuesday showers. We'll break down the hour by hour for you next.